All right. It seems like it's another podcast, dude. And I didn't cue the music. Hello? Stop. Better. Okay. I didn't cue the music at that point, so don't. Did I? Stop the music, please. Thank you. All right. So as I'm about to say, screw it. The show is now.
Thank you for joining me today at mobicast.mobi. This is Antonio Edward, and I've had a series of podcasts, and quite surprised that because it's a new podcast, and we're still getting numbers in 200s, 300s, 400s, and even 500 on one of the shows. I just did an interview with Angela Fernando, who is a well-known blogger here in the Phoenix area. He also does a radio show, which just aired tonight, actually, at 7 p.m. And at KFNX. And the thing is that I'm just quite surprised that this podcast is doing as well as it is. So I want to thank everybody for being a part of this, downloading the show, checking it out. And please, if you have any comments, go to that particular show's page and add comments to tell me what you think. It'd be nice to get some feedback because this is an ever-growing podcast. So again, thank you. Me and my wife were discussing some things about mobile apps. I know in the past shows I talked about mobile websites and how your shows need to be mobilized, and also talked about using some type of tag or barcode like Microsoft Tag or QR code. But this time we'll talk about mobile apps and the lack thereof when it comes to multi-platform capable applications that are available for the mobile phone. And here's the thing. You go to the iTunes store, and yes, they are right. There is an app for almost everything they got. But then when it comes to a lot of apps, they don't make it for, let's say, Blackberry, or Android or Windows Mobile or Windows Phone. They only make it for iPhone. And there are a lot of companies that make apps for Android and iPhone, but they leave everybody else behind. So you have to have an Android phone or an iPhone to make sure that you can cover every single app that's out there. Luckily, Twitter makes an app for iPhone, but there are a lot of other third-party Twitter apps that you can download for a Windows Phone or a Blackberry phone. But the thing is that I go to Hootsuite, and Hootsuite is one of my favorite, where you can have 5, 6, 7 different Twitter pages on at one time. Because on a web browser you have to log into one, do what you got to do in that one, log out, log into another one, and do what you want to do in that. But with Hootsuite and TweetDeck and a few others, they don't have a whole lot of web applications for multi-platform phones. Hootsuite only makes it for Android and iPhone. And so this is kind of sets me behind, because here I am I have a Windows Mobile 6.5. I'm waiting for Windows Phone 7 to come out, and I am actually deciding whether I should go ahead and get an iPhone, because on the iPhone I can get these apps. So in this show, I'm going to talk about multi-platform apps, and I'm also going to discuss how more stores and more places should design apps for their consumers, for their clients, for their members, for their shoppers, for their customers. In having these mobile apps, this would increase the business, because a person will have your store on their phone all the time. You take a person who goes to JCPenney on a regular basis. They do all their shopping at JCPenney. They would be happy to download that app on their phone, so they can do the shopping on their phone before they even get there. And they can order stuff right on their phone to their homes. Or they can at least see what specials happening, what sales, and they can punch, and they're doing this today, they're doing that today. Great. Let me go ahead and go to JCPenney and see what they got. And also, they can subscribe to some type of SMS messaging where they can get the latest in sales. And so these are things that I want to talk about in this particular show. In the first part of the show, I want to talk about multi-platform. Sure, iPhones are very popular at this time. It is probably the most popular, well-known smartphone on the market. And the reason why is because Apple has good marketing. They know how to market. And you have to give it to Apple when it comes to stuff like that. They can market something very well that Google and a few other places don't do so well. Google is all by word of mouth. Yes, they have those Droid commercials, but they should not just rely on the commercials they have on TV. You have to consider that Apple is also word of mouth, but they have great advertising. That catchy music, do 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 do. I mean, and if you actually hear the song, and oh man, I wish I had looked it up before I started this podcast. But the iTunes song or the iPhone song, the actual song itself is stupid. Okay, I mean, well, for those of you who may like it, you may like it, but I actually don't personally like the song. It's just nothing catchy about it. But just that part where the instrumental part, where it's only that small part that they play for the commercials. It's just 30 seconds long. Well, that part is actually in that song, but then someone actually comes in and sings it, and it's actually a full-fledged 3-minute song, and so it's just something to hear. I mean, and people love hearing that song, and it's in the background. You really don't hear it that much, but it is catchy and it works. Okay, the Droid. It says whoa 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 whoa, what the Droid can do. It's I don't know. It's just not exciting. I'm not excited to see a Droid commercial. Okay, an Android commercial, but it's exciting to see. And I haven't seen one in a while, so I don't think they're advertising as much as they used to. But I'm excited to see what app they're going to feature in their commercial. Talking about, hey, you can brush your teeth, rub your belly, and scratch your ass at the same time with an iPhone, because there's an app for that. And so, I mean, the iPhone has a catchier marketing plan that is working for them. And that 3-hour YouTube video, well, it was actually like 10 minutes broken up, but it was about an hour to, I think it was like 3 hours, I'm not sure. It was very long, but I sat there and watched the whole damn thing, because I was interested in seeing what this iPhone 4 can do. And so, iPhone is well marketed, and that's why you have a lot of developers who are developing developing for iPhone more so than any phone out there. Every once in a while, you will see a Blackberry commercial, but it's only the manufacturers of the phones that are producing these Blackberry commercials, like the Blackberry Curve or the Blackberry this, the first touchscreen Blackberry, bloop 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 bloop. Wow, I can move stuff around. I can use my finger. Okay, the thing is, does Blackberry themselves advertise just as an OS? The RIM technology, do they advertise? No. Palm, you may see Palm, but those are commercials put out by the manufacturers. Yes, iPhone is also a manufacturer, true. But of course, iPhone's proprietary. You can only get an iOS 4 phone from Apple themselves, and there's no other way to get it. Okay, so not only are they helping with their operating system technology, they're also helping with their manufacturing, the actual phone itself. And I think what Android with Google should do is to say, hey, we got this badass operating system, Android 2.1, or when it released 3.0, is to say, yeah, this thing can do this, it can do that. Does this other phone, it can show maybe like a cartoon of an iPhone that sort of looks like an iPhone, but to, protect them from getting sued by Apple. Just kind of make it look different a little bit. But this phone looks all bent over and old and decrepit, and then this Android is all like, hey, here I am. So this is why I believe that iPhone has more apps than many other phones. Now, multi-platform, you have companies like Foursquare who only puts out apps for Android and Blackberry. But it's sad to see that they don't have any apps for Windows Phone. They really do not. And so I would love to see that companies like Foursquare, and actually I was wrong. Foursquare actually does make devices for Blackberry and Palm too, but they left out Windows Mobile. Okay, and that leaves me out too. I just went to the website to clarify, and yeah, they make apps for four the most popular, I'm going to say three: Android, Blackberry, iPhone, and also do Palm, but they don't do Windows Mobile. So I cannot really take advantage of the Windows Mobile phone. It's like, okay, I got a Foursquare account, but I can't really use it. Okay? When I'm out and about. Yes, I can use it when I get home on a browser, on my laptop, but I can't really use it on the go. It's like I friended, a couple of friends who uses Foursquare all the time. That Foursquare app is running in the background 100% of the time. And one of them is on Android, the other one's on an iPhone, and I know where they're at. I even know when they go home at night. I know every single club they go to. I know when they go to work. Every place they go to, it shows up on their Twitter page, and I can just look on their page and like, oh, they're at the club now. Oh, he just got home. Hope he didn't drink too much and drive home drunk. So a lot of these developers who develops for mobile phones should consider that they have to not only just stick with just Android or just iPhone or both, they should also develop for Blackberry. Blackberry is the most sold smartphone in the market at this time. That may change with the iPhone 4. That may change with Android, let's say 2.5, if they ever come up with something like that, or 3.0. That may change with Windows Phone 7. We don't know yet. We're not there yet. But right at this point, there are more Blackberries in the streets than there are any other phones in the market. iPhone is second. Third is, Android. Fourth is Windows Mobile. Fifth is all others. Okay, so this is what we have to consider right now. iPhone being the most popular phone, the most well-known smartphone, is what you have to consider as far as developing. So you may want to start off with the iPhone app. Just say, okay, let's just get the iPhone app going. Let's just make that. Boom, 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 done. Okay, now let's make it for Android, the second most popular smartphone in the market. Done. Great. Now let's do all the others. Blackberry, done. Then we do the Palm, done. And then let's also consider Windows Mobile 6.5. Now, I would let go of the 6.1, but there are a lot of users with 6.5. So design apps for 6.5. Boom, 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 done. Okay. Now, once Windows Phone 7 come out, I understand that there are going to be a lot of apps made available to Windows Phone 7. I would say also do it for Windows Mobile 6.5 because there are a lot of users, a great number of users on Windows Mobile 6.5. And you have to develop for both. So not only should you create this fantastic high-speed app for Windows Phone 7, just like you do on an Android, Blackberry, and an iPhone 3 and above, but you also maybe want to downgrade the app, but still make it available for the user on a Windows Mobile 6.5 and design that app for that phone. Because if you don't do it, you're leaving a whole lot of people out, like me on the Windows Mobile 6.5. Okay. So you're going to leave a lot of people out. And that's the reason why we should, as mobile phone developers now, there are a lot of mobile developers who are doing it themselves. I mean, they are freelance. They have other jobs. They just decided to build an app. And all they know is how to develop for iPhone or just develop for Android, and that's it. And they're not a company or corporation, but they're making like 99 cents per download and something like that. Well, for those kind of developers, I'm not going to say so much to them because they're only developing for the phone that they got, okay, or that they support. But for larger companies like Foursquare, I'm not going to say anything about Facebook because Facebook is available on many different types of phones out there. I will have to say, Facebook, thank you, because you're making it available for many, many users. They have a stripped down version for Windows Mobile 6.5. They have a elaborate version for iPhones and Androids and all the other phones out there. But at least I can log on to my Facebook without having to use my web browser. And it automatically has my username and password. I can just log into it, bam, and do whatever I want into Facebook. And so I would have to say kudos to Facebook about that. Flickr. I am a big user of Flickr. I have a huge Flickr account with, I really don't know how many pictures I got on there. Let me just take a look real quick. I'm going to my Flickr page right now. But I have so many pictures on there that is ridiculous because I got the pro account. And I pay, a certain amount per year for it. And I am not able to take advantage of it on my mobile phone because when they designed the Flickr mobile, they only designed it for, guess what? iPhone. Yes, right now I have over 19,000 pictures. That's a lot. Okay, I didn't realize I had that many pictures. But basically, every phone I ever had in my life, every time I took a picture, I was uploaded to the email address that Flickr gave me, and automatically got uploaded. And I never got rid of any of my pictures. I upload every single picture, even pictures that came out blurry or accidental snaps that I did. I upload every single picture. You can see my photo album at flickr.com/labanex, LABANEX. But anyway, that's beyond here or there. But the fact is, I am not able to do anything on Flickr on my mobile phone except for maybe, just saving the email address that Flickr gave me to upload as my contacts. And then I can upload the pictures straight from my phone, which I have been doing. But it would be nice to actually have a mobile app that did that for me. So take a small break here for a moment, and we're going to get into the second part of this podcast. And I want to thank you very much for being with us today. Again, thank you. See you in a minute. Okay, welcome back, and this is MobiCast. In the first half of the show, I talked about how mobile apps that are already out there should be multi-platform accessible to every smartphone out there, if it could be out there. When you're a mobile app developer, especially for a major company that has some kind of budget of some sort, it shouldn't be that hard for you to have multiple developers to make sure that you're designing apps for not just iPhone or Android, but for Blackberry, for Palm, for Windows Mobile and Windows Phone. You should make sure that you cover all the bases so that everybody that could be possible customers or clients or of yours can use your application. Otherwise, you're going to leave a lot of people in the dark. And to say, well, if you don't have this particular phone, well, what you got to do is go to m.jcpenney.com. And you have to do the web version because, sorry, we don't develop for Android, or we don't develop for blah, blah, blah. I mean, the thing is, you have to develop for everybody. If you're planning on doing this, if you're planning on developing for mobile apps, at least come out with one of them first, see how the market goes, and then say, okay, we now offer Android. Great. That's awesome. iPhone, Android. Good. A month down the line, we now make it available for Windows Mobile and Windows Phone. If you have a Windows Phone, download our app because now you too can use our app. Palm, Blackberry. Yes, we do everybody. And this is something that you should do as mobile app developers. Now, I want to get into something else. Mobile websites is something I talked about in a previous podcast I've done. And one of my favorite podcasts is, why is your site not mobile? And that's something I strongly suggest especially for smaller companies that do not have the type of budget to hire developers to design mobile apps for their companies. Okay, so not every company is going to be able to do this, or not every store. Because if this particular store they only got 3 stores in the Phoenix, Arizona area, and he's pulling in like $1.5 million a year. Okay, he's barely breaking even at and profiting only like $200,000 per year. Okay, I will suggest don't do a mobile app, because a mobile app will cost you a lot of money to develop. It won't cost you $200,000, but it will still take up a lot of your funds at first, and you have to come with upgrades every single year, and it's just a pain in the butt. But if you're that kind of company, yes, you definitely got to have a mobile website. That is a must. That is something that you should not let go. I don't care how small or big your business is. Every single business should have a mobile website. Every single personal website should be accessible by mobile. And you have no excuse. If you're using Joomla or WordPress or Drupal or any other type of content management system, you have no excuse. Your website should be mobile. But let's get into something else. Mobile apps. For larger companies or for any company that has some kind of marketing budget of some type, where you have logins for your customers. I would say it like this: if your company has a login page and there's specific information about their account, like banks, tax records. There's just a lot of them out there. You know, stocks, or even something as simple as food delivery. In some cities, there's food delivery. You know, like the old days where you call your food and say, "Yep, I need send me this amount of chicken, this amount of fish. I need 2 cartons of milk. Give me a pack of cigarettes, and yep. Oh, how much? $210. Thank you. All right, the check will be here when the truck gets here." And you usually give them a check, and they deliver all your food right to your house. That's back in the days. Well, that's still happening in a lot of cities. In North Carolina, that's really big. I think it's a company called Swanson's. Well, for those customers, not only should they have a mobile website, as well as a regular website, but also a Swanson's app. And I could be talking right now, and they probably already got one. And if they're listening to the show, they're probably like, "Well, we already got something like that. Huh? Why is he talking against us?" Well, I'll tell you the truth, they don't have a Swanson's out here. So I don't know if they have a website like that here. But Swanson's, I believe that's the name of this of the company that delivers food. But they should definitely have a mobile app for their customers. It's a large enough company to where they advertise on TV. So yes, you should have enough money to get some developers together, or to hire a third-party developer to develop you a mobile application for your customers. That is a must. Every company, large corporation, should have some type of mobile application. Even better yet, I'm going to say even this way too, is that if you are a big-time blogger, okay, like Rocket Bloom, I think that's her name, Rocket Bloom, Epic Foo, and The Guild, and a lot of other very popular podcasts, videocasts, webisodes, stuff like that. If you are big time and you are making money doing what you're doing, and yes, they do make a lot of money because they get a lot of endorsements, they got a bunch of ads on their site, they're making good money. Your website should also be mobile. If your website's not mobile, why? Okay? But also, you should throw up a tag, a Microsoft tag. If you don't like Microsoft tag, at least throw up a QR code. But Microsoft tag is going to be the American standard. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm already predicting. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm already predicting that Microsoft tag will be the tag of the future. You should throw up a Microsoft tag. But if you absolutely do not like Microsoft tag, then throw up a QR code. And if you have flyers, you must have some type of barcode on every single flyer, CD, even on your t-shirts that you sell. Yes, put the barcode on your t-shirts, either in the front or back. Because someone's going to be like, "Hey," you're walking down the street, you're flaunting your favorite podcast or webisode or video cast, and you're like, someone's going to stop you and say, "Hey, can I snap that real quick?" "Yeah, sure." Bloop. Okay. So I still suggest that your website has to be mobile, and so that people can view your website in a mobilized format. I know that's a new word, mobilize. It's not really a new word as far as, when you say like the army is going to mobilize to a different camp or whatever. Okay, great. Now I'm talking about mobilizing your website. Okay, I'm going to use that word because that is something that you must do. Now, to have a mobile app that people can literally download onto their phone. Now they got it, not permanently, but they got it installed on their phone, and they're taking you with them everywhere they go. So if you are able to, if you have that kind of budget, you must have a mobile app. And don't just make it for iPhone. You could be the biggest fan of iPhone of them all. You got to develop for all of them. Every single one of them. You could be the biggest supporter of Android. I only develop for Android. I don't care what you say. That is it. because I am Android and and it's open source and this and that and the other. Shut up. Okay, you have to develop for every one of them, and make sure that it's available for almost every phone that there can be, smartphone specifically. A lot of the smaller phones, maybe not. Even then, for non-smartphones, you have your mobile website that will take care of that for you. For smartphones, you have your mobile app. On your mobile website, make sure you mention that you have a mobile app. At the bottom, I will put it at the bottom of every page. Every single page, you have a small button that says, hey, instead of viewing our mobile website, click here or tap here with your finger to download the mobile app. People are going to be like, really? I didn't know they had a mobile app. Let me doop. And of course, for iPhones, it will automatically, that particular button should recognize that it's an iPhone or something. So if they're on an iPhone, they click on that button, it will take them to the iTunes page where they can download it. If it's Blackberry, it will take them to the Blackberry Market, Android Market, Windows Marketplace, whatever. It is there. Okay? So you got to do this. It's not of maybe we should and I don't. No, it's a more like you have to. In these days, you have to, because mobile phones is the new computer. Mobile phones is the new computer. And I'm talking about smartphones here. More and more people are getting smartphones. And I think iPhone, we have to thank Apple for that, because Apple has made smartphones the new green. I know, Fifth Element. It is the new green. It is the new computer. And Android is doing a very good job at making that happen too. Though I think Google should do some advertising themselves. Google needs to advertise more, and not just the companies that make Google phones. One thing that I don't like about Apple iPhone is that in order to get the Apple iOS 4 or any type of Apple product, it's only sold by Apple. Apple makes the software and the hardware, and you can't get it anywhere else. Yes, I've heard that you can install Macintosh software onto a regular PC and it still works, but they pretty much hold the patent and all that. And they're very close, they're very tight, it's very proprietary, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just recently where you can break the iPhone so you can take it onto Verizon and T-Mobile. That just happened recently. So I would have to say in the closing that when you design a mobile app, just don't be stuck on the platform that you most favor. If you are a developer or a corporation that has the funding for it, you can design multiple apps for multiple phones. Just like Facebook. Facebook, Windows Mobile 6.1, Windows Mobile 6.5, Windows Phone 7, I'm sure it's going to be a Windows Phone 7, Palm, Blackberry, and iPhone, and Android. They make phones for all these different OSs out there, and they don't make no bones about it. They really don't. It's like it's no problem for them. They spent the money and the time to design that mobile app to work with different phones, no matter how fast or slow it is. So why can't everybody else follow suit? Why can't everybody else say, you know what? You're right. We need to make mobile apps available for every single phone. And large companies, mid-sized companies, companies that can afford that kind of budget should have a mobile app for your store. Large bloggers, big-time bloggers who are actually making good money, you need a mobile app. If you have over 10,000 followers and you're making at least, I'm just going to throw a figure off the top of my head, $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 a month, you can spend $500, $600, $700 for a mobile app that will work with your website. And every time you upload something to your website, it automatically gets downloaded to your phone. And if you do a podcast, it's like an automatic thing. They'll get a notification say, hey, new podcast available. Click here to view it, or click here to listen to it. And they'll click on it, and they can actually listen to or hear or view your podcast or read your blog. So MobiCast is not that big yet. I haven't made any money yet either. So at this time, I don't have a mobile app. But I'm going to guarantee you that one day I'm going to hire somebody to design a mobile app for my podcast. I'm going to definitely make sure that Geek Girl Wife has a mobile app. And Geek Girl Wife is my wife. You can go to geekgirlwife.com. In fact, I'm just going to end the show right here. My wife's podcast and blog is at geekgirlwife.com. My podcast, of course, is mobicast.mobi. And my personal website is labanex.com. It's labanex.com. That's my personal website. I don't do a whole lot of updates on that site much at all. Basically, it's just full of my videos and music and just a place where I throw stuff on and not really, monitor much. I design some Joomla applications here and there and stuff like that. But who really cares, right? No. I would suggest that please, if you like the show or if you dislike the show, whatever type of comment or even have a question or suggestion, yes, I do take suggestions. Please leave a comment. You can do it at mobicast.mobi on Twitter. You can also go to facebook.com/mobicast.mobi and like the page and join up with the page and leave a comment on there saying, hey, I like the way you did things, or I would suggest doing this and that and the other, whatever it is you want to say. I'm not going to get mad back at you. I do take all comments and I do listen to them, and I will definitely make the improvements that you suggest, especially if it's valid. So, please definitely say your word, and I welcome all comments. I've been getting a lot of downloads today. The Angelo Fernandez show, it was sitting at so how many is it now? Let me just hit refresh on this thing. Because it was sitting at 450 a couple hours ago. And the Angelo Fernandez interview, 455. Okay, so in the last couple hours, 5 downloads, which is fantastic. Even my wife, she just did a podcast, and very happy to see that her podcast is doing very well as well. We just released a podcast this afternoon, and already she's sitting at 27 downloads. That's amazing, as compared to the way it was when we first got started. It was on maybe 5, 10, but then it jumped. So someone's listening to me. I would like to hear from you. These podcasts are free, so I really don't know if you can hear me. All right, take it easy, guys. This is Antonio Edward at MobiCast. MobiCast.